Let's talk about testimonials, how to ask for them and what to do with them when you have them. Asking someone to talk publicly about your product or service can be difficult. How often have you been asked and declined when someone asked you to rate or review a product or service? People don't like to do it, but it's critical, especially when you sell high-priced items or you require a big commitment for your services. Lots of companies ask for reviews or products or services. These are usually short summaries of a meal, a hotel room, or a small item. They're short and sweet, and they don't require a lot of effort. Testimonials, on the other hand, are longer descriptions of experiences that customers have with your product or service. They allow a potential buyer to relate to the problem that the product or service solves, and it's a more detailed description of the product or service. So why use a testimonial? Well, they're hard to get, but they're worth a lot. Gold is hard to find, but once we find it and get it out of the rock, it's worth a lot. Our buying patterns have changed. Today, we often buy things without even seeing them. These changes mean that as companies, we need to make potential customers feel more comfortable buying our products or using our services even before they commit. Once you start using testimonials the right way, they're marketing gold. So let's talk about how to ask. Asking someone for a testimonial can be hard, but here's a few things to make it easier. Don't ask everyone. Choose customers that you have a really strong working relationship with. Maybe it's someone that you solved a big problem for or that you've worked with for a long time. If you have a mutually beneficial relationship with that customer, they'll see the benefit in supporting your business. They'll want to keep a great supplier around and will be more willing to invest. Ask at the right time. We all know from our personal relationships, there's a good time to ask for a favor. It's the same with asking for a testimonial. Ask when you've completed a big job or solved a big problem for a customer. When everyone is happy and the problem is still fresh in their mind. Also make it easy. If you send a link to a document that's on a shared drive and they have to download something and then create their own account and then upload something, it's just not going to happen. Ask questions in an email that somebody can respond to, and I'll tell you a few questions that I ask in just a moment. Provide a document in a common format that they can just edit and send back to you. Or sometimes I use surveys. Ask them questions about their experience with you and your products or services, and collect the information through a survey program. It makes it easy for people to show how much they love your products or services. So how do you get a testimonial from a customer? Again, consider the relationship. Maybe you've worked with a customer a long time or have helped them through thick and thin. The strength of this relationship will really allow you to ask for more detailed recommendation. With a good relationship, you can ask somebody to provide a really detailed description of their experiences with you. Here are some questions that I like to ask. What problem did you have before working with us? What did we do different than other suppliers that you've worked with? How did we solve your problem? What was the outcome of working with us as opposed to other suppliers you've tried? And what would you tell someone considering working with us? In some cases, I've asked customers these questions, recorded their answers, put them into a document and returned it to them for approval. One of my customers actually responded to these questions by recording answers into his phone. He sent me the audio files and I had them transcribed into a document that I sent to him for his review. Always get written permission to use the information and attribute a customer's name to their testimonial. I like to take a screenshot of an email or get a document that's signed. I have a template for permission that I get customers to sign when I'm asking for a testimonial or using their pictures. In some cases, a customer wants to share their story, but they can't be identified. Some companies don't like their employees to show preferential treatment to a supplier, or maybe it's a sensitive subject like personal health. In these cases, you can still use that testimonial, but you can identify the person in other ways, like their position or an industry. VP of operations for an energy company. You can also use non-identifying but important characteristics to the story. Things like mother of 2 from rural Saskatchewan, or teacher, 29 years old. So how do you use a testimonial? There are lots of ways, and we'll talk about a few of my favorites coming up. Think of it like a sample for someone who wants to know what it's like to work with you, but your product or service requires a large investment or is complicated to implement. It also allows you to provide a sample without giving things away for free. Your potential customers can see what your current customers think about your products or services without actually committing. One testimonial can be used in lots of ways. A page on your website can be dedicated to testimonials from customers. One story can become several social media posts. I've used testimonials in brochures, presentations, ads, sales pitches, sales packages, or even as a supporting document if you reply to RFPs. Once you have permission to use a testimonial, use it a lot. You never know if someone will provide a testimonial unless you ask, so ask away. So what's your challenge for this video? Check out the worksheet and write down your answers. The first question is whether or not you actually need testimonials. Some businesses require testimonials as a sales tool, others it's not so important. So decide if you need them before you start working on them. The second question asks you to make a list of all the people that you could ask for a testimonial. So make that list of those customers who love you and want to support you. The last question asks you to create a list of ways that you can use those testimonials. So once you've got one, you don't have to dream up all those ways. You've got a great list waiting for you. Good luck.